This is the Roundup video for August 2020. Unlike in the normal Roundup videos where we would be looking at the documentation website, I'm just going to go through some of the new platform features which are due to be released soon. The difference between this preview video and the previous preview video is this development is focused on what the Garage Hive team had developed specifically for our industry. So if you haven't yet seen the last preview video, which is the platform preview, then I suggest you watch that video before you watch this video. So I'm just going to run through, there are 4 features to talk about, 2 minor features and 2 major features. The first minor feature is right in front of you. So as you can see, the tiles are going to be looking slightly different. We've renamed some of the tiles to make them a bit more intuitive. And we've actually removed the header word from each tile. So previously this would have said job sheets total, job sheets today, job sheets in process, etc. Well, now because the header exists above that set of tiles, we've removed it from the actual tile, and it just results in a much more cleaner looking tile, and you can actually see the entire description now. We've also renamed current job sheets today to job sheets current jobs because today wasn't technically correct. It does also include WIP jobs that are future booked. So now current jobs makes far more sense. We've also changed this one from job sheets complete to allocation complete because again, it was quite a common question. Why is it saying the job sheet is complete when there are other allocations? Well, now it will simply inform you of when an allocation has been complete for a particular job. It doesn't necessarily mean the job sheet is complete, which is why we have renamed it. And you can see again, it's the same for the other tiles. You can see it just looks a bit neater and just a bit cleaner. So moving on to the next feature, we have improved the auto clock outs. This was a feature that Garage Hive added probably about a year ago. Well, now it's self-serve and there are just a few additional features. So previously you could set a single clock out time across your entire business. It didn't matter which day it was, and you could set one time. Well, now you can set multiple times per day, and this is to pick up those technicians that have perhaps done some overtime. So their normal work hours are finished, they've clocked back in, and they're now doing some overtime. And you can add a second auto clock out to catch those technicians that forget to clock out once they finished overtime. You can also have different hours for weekends now as well. So it's really simple to set up. You simply select new, put in the information that you want to happen, and the system will take care of the rest of it for you. So the first part of the first major update, I'm just going to go ahead to a job sheet to show you this. You'll see a new what's called a fast tab. So a fast tab is a term on the Business Central platform, and it is simply a place where cells exist within a document. But the cool thing about a fast tab is you can minimize it just to hide it. So you could actually do that for the header of the document if you want to. So the header is a fast tab, but you'll see we've got a new one now called vehicle reminder dates. Just due to just the increase in demand, we've shifted the reminder fields to the actual job sheet now, and they live within their own fast tab. So if you don't want them there, you can just minimize the fast tab and they're gone. What you'll also notice is that when it is within a month of expiry, the text will go red to draw your attention to it. But for the MOT one, we still have the notification bar at the top here. What you'll also notice, let me just hide that, is a show more button here. So when I select show more, you can see that we have also added all of the requested expiry dates that we believe exist on a vehicle card. If there are any more that people want adding, then please let us know and we can get them added for you. Now, the reason they all exist by default is because if you watched the previous video, you would have been aware of the personalization that's now available to Garage Hive customers. So, for example, if in my business I'm not interested in the safety check due date, if I select settings personalize, then I can very simply just hide this field. And if I want to prioritize the timing belt due date, if I select this and select show always, when we have show less selected, I can dictate which fields appear in under the show less state. So again, you can prioritize. Each business will have their own idea on what they want to see here, and you can just take advantage of the personalization feature. As I said before, if there are any dates missing, please let the support team know. We'll feed it back to the developers and we'll get it added to the vehicle card for you. Now, when you update a date here, it is synchronized with the vehicle card. So any changes made to the vehicle card will appear here. Any changes made here will appear directly within the vehicle card. So you haven't got to worry about entering this information twice. So to take advantage of all of these reminder dates, we've had to redesign the way the reminder system works pretty much from scratch. So I'm going to go now into customer notifications. And as you'll see, it looks totally different. There are loads of new features within this system, within this particular feature now. So I'm just going to run through some of the types of reminders I've got set within this business. So if we look at the top one, you can see we've got a booking reminder for Diag. So you can create unique booking reminders based on the service type. This is particularly useful if you want to give the customer a particular message, depending on why they're coming to your garage. Diagnostic is a really good example. So if we open this one up, you can see that the type is a booking reminder. It's going to go out one day before at 3 o'clock. It's only going to go out for those that have a diagnostic service type job sheet. And in this particular example, I've stated that the customer must visit my website and fill in a form, which is going to give me, as the garage owner, more information about their diagnostic fault. So a cool way of using this particular feature is to get customers to fill forms in, for example. You'll notice that when I selected send by email, I had to first preview the message and press OK that I'm happy with the message. If I didn't, then the system would not send messages out via SMS or email on this particular customer notification type. So you must now preview before it sends. You can then dictate which days the reminders go out as well. So if you only want to send reminders out during weekdays, then you can do down here. I've done the same for MOT tests. So my message to MOT tests goes out at 7 o'clock at night. It will not, oh no, sorry, this will only send to customers that have a service type of MOT or service MOT. And you can select multiple. So if you want to send reminders to multiple types of service types, and you can do. If I simply select tire, you can see it's going to send to MOT, service and MOT, and tire jobs. And the message is slightly different. So in this particular message, I'm asking the customer to make sure that they arrive on time, for example. Okay, so moving on to the other types, we've got booking confirmations, which you'll be aware of. The features here are essentially the same. I mean, you're only going to really send one type of booking confirmation. But moving on, let's have a look at MOT reminders. So you can set up customer notifications to every type of date field that appears on a vehicle card. So in this example, I've got 3 reminder types going out based on the MOT reminder date on the vehicle card. And that's because I want to send a message 30 days, 15 days, and 3 days before. I want to send the 30-day one at weekdays only at 7 p.m. I want to send the 15-day one at weekends only at 5 p.m. And the 3-day one I'm going to send every day. It doesn't matter which day it is. 3 days before, they're going to get a message at 8 p.m. with a final warning that their MOT is about to expire. Like the other ones, if the customer has already booked in for a service and MOT or an MOT, they're not going to receive a reminder. We've also added the ability to filter out vehicles you haven't seen for a certain period of time. So for my MOT reminders, I don't want to remind the customer if we've not seen the vehicle within the last 18 months. I could change that to 2 years. If I'm reminding them about their timing belt, for example, then perhaps I'm going to change that to 3 years. And again, each type of customer notification can have a different message. So the message you send to the customer can vary depending on how many days before you're reminding them. The survey reminders are again the same. You can dictate the frequency. So how often would a customer get a survey reminder, and the message that is attached to that survey reminder, and which days they get the survey reminders. For the demonstration of this as well, I've always also set up a timing belt reminder, for example. So I set the code, I set the type, I selected the field it's due on, it's based on. So you can see we've got all these fields, we've got lots of fields that you can base messages on. If they're booked in for a timing belt, it's not going to remind them about a timing belt because I have a new service type called timing belt. If we've not seen them for the last 3 years, we're not going to remind them anyway. And I'm actually going to remind these guys 60 days before their timing belt is due. And again, you can put the custom message in and select which days the message goes out. The last type as well, and this is, you can really use this one however you want to use this one. If you identify something on a vehicle inspection reminder, you can obviously set the dates for a tile to populate actually within the vehicle inspection estimate itself. But if you want to automate a message, then you can set a vehicle inspection reminder date from within the job card. And what I'm saying here is that at 7 o'clock every night, the system's going to look at who we've set reminders up for the vehicle inspections. If they have any type of booking made whatsoever, this is what this filter means, it's not going to remind them. So if they're already due to come into us, they're not going to get a reminder under any circumstances. If we've not seen them for the last 12 months, then we're not going to remind them. And we're going to send it actually one day before that we've set the reminder to go out at. And I've just a really simple example message. During the last visit, we identified some non-urgent issues with your vehicle during our complimentary health check. We'd like you to bring the vehicle back so we can take a look and see if these issues have progressed. So again, it's a really great way to potentially drum up some work off the back of vehicle inspections. And again, you can dictate which days they go out on and at what time it goes out on. So that's the reminder system. Hopefully you've got all of the tools to create all the types of reminders that you want. It's extremely elaborate. There are a lot of features. There is going to be some upfront an investment of time in getting this set up exactly how you want, but you should have all the features now to achieve exactly what you want from this. Okay, so the last feature that we are going to be looking at, and this again was a complete overhaul in the way that this works. So I'm just going to go to the job sheet. I'm going to show you how these prices are now reacting. So this last feature is all about the way you will be pricing your work up. So you can see here that we have some MISC parts, some MISC tires, a labor line and a service line. So let's have a look at how MISC parts are working. If I add a unit cost on a MISC line for £10, then you can see it's doubled the price to 20. If I've gone 20, it's added £18, 30, it's added £14. So it's varying the markup based on the cost price. So you can see where I'm going with this. We've introduced pricing matrix now based on all manner of ways that you can actually price jobs up. So I'll go into the details shortly. If we look at tires, you can see that if it's a £10 tire, it's adding 15. If it's a £20 tire, it's adding 15. If it's a £30 tire, it's also adding 15. Let's have a look here. If we change it to a £40 tire, you can see it's adding 17 now. If I change it to a £50 tire, it's now adding 20. But look what happens when I change the quantity to 4 tires. It's discounted slightly. So you can see all the variations here. So a £50 tire is adding £20 markup, but the markup will vary based on the quantity of tires. And you can also see it's automatically applying a discount as well. And again, I'll show you how it's automatically applying a discount. So the parts here are based on a percentage markup, and the tires I've got based on a currency markup. So whether that's euros or pounds, it's based on a fixed price markup. So then let's take a look at labor. So to demonstrate this example, I just want to take you to the labor list. And I want to demonstrate that our standard labor rate is £50. But you'll notice that when I add a labor to this job card, a standard labor, you can see it's actually coming through at £80. And if I add a service labor line, You can see that's coming through at £60, but it's automatically applied a 20% discount. So you can see all the ways that this can now be done. So now I'm just going to go and show you how some of this setup is achieved. So the first one we're going to look at are sales markups. And what you can see here, if we start with the source type, so you start by selecting the source type. So that's either all customers, a particular customer, or a group of customers. You then select the asset type. So in 99% of the cases, it's either going to be a particular item or an item category. You can then define prices based on location. So if you're multi-location, you can have different markup rules per location. You can apply markup rules per vehicle make. So if you're a specialist and you have a higher margin based on the make of vehicle, you can apply a make. You can run campaigns, so you can have a start date and an end date. So if you have an offer on, then you can dictate how long that offer stands, and it will apply the discounts for you. Apply particular markups for you during that date range. And then you can decide that this markup only applies if it has a minimum quantity. You then set the price range. So we're saying that from £0 to £10, we're going to use the markup type percent. We're going to base it on the unit cost in the job sheet, not in the item card. And we're going to mark it up by 100%. But what's also clever is that no matter what, we're always going to make a minimum of £5. So you can also add minimum markup amount here, and this is in currency. So this would have been pounds or euros, and you can dictate what the minimum profit per price matrix that you want to earn, regardless of the percentage markup or the pound markup. So then let's take a look at tires then. So we've got the tire category, and we're stating that from £0 to £30 we're adding 15, from 30 to 40 we're adding 17, and so on and so forth. And then we're going to get down to actually if there is four tires on a particular line, up to £50 we're only going to add £15 per tire. And over £50, if there's 4 tires, we're going to add £18 per tire. So you can start to appreciate just how complex you can get with some of these prices. So I'm going to take a look now at how the discounts and variable labor rates are working. So if I select sales prices, we can see that for all customers, the asset type of labor and the number LAB. For BMWs only, I want the unit price to be £80. So that's how I can set a very specific labor rate based on the vehicle make. What's cool about this is in the new Power BI app, you can see your efficiency and recovery based on vehicle makes. So if you've got one that's performing not as well as others, or you're less efficient on a particular type of make, then you can perhaps increase the labor rate just for that particular vehicle make. And then finally, if we look at these sales discounts, you can see that I've got two set up here. I've got for all customers, the labor type of service for BMWs only are going to receive a 20% discount. And then likewise for all customers, the item category for tire for BMWs only between this date range are going to receive a 10% discount. So again, for marketing campaigns, etc., if you've got prices and discounts, you can automate all of that through the new sales discounts feature. So it's very elaborate. Again, it has an awful lot of upfront setup to do, but you'll be able to truly automate the way your business prices up in Garage Hive and add absolute consistency across all members of staff. And then this feature obviously works quite nicely with the feature we released last month, which is the item margin is too low warning. So if I select, essentially this job sheet is warning me that my desired company margin is too low. So if I select show statistics, I can see that the item margin I've achieved is only 22.83%. Had I got my markups all set up to achieve my particular margin, then this would no longer be an issue. So I hope you like both those features in particular, the vehicle reminders, the rework to the entire customer notification system, and the complete rework of the markup system. So if you've got any questions, any queries, or any feedback, then please put it in the community forum, or feel free to get in touch with a member of the team. Thank you.